Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, my dear high flyers. I'm SaiVidhya Narayanan. I'm here to share my reflection and my journey with Cambridgeveritas IELTS Masterclass. The way I just, viewed my journey is looking back to leap forward. That's how I will phrase. That's my motto. Okay, so looking back to leap forward, it means since I also told the same during the induction session when I introduced about myself, and it's the place where I believe that I will unlearn, relearn, and to take my teaching skills to the next level. So that's how I just approached this entire program. So looking back to leap forward is my mantra throughout this presentation session. You'll be hearing these words: my leap, how I just reflected on my journey. So let's get started. So I just, placed the induction program as ground zero. So that's where the actual leap began. So it started with my assumptions versus the induction program. So we got to know each other. It was a very casual and wonderful self-introduction and the intro by our trainer Kish. And we were just having a very casual conversation. We started to share about our teaching background, the motivations in the sense what motivated us to get into this master class program and so on. And the most significant part of the induction session would be IELTS FAQs. So it was around 11 to 12 FAQs we discussed, and we got to know an overview of IELTS exam, its format, and the most significant thing and the surprising aspect or the element is I got to know the perks of being an IELTS examiner and the differences between IDP, British Council, etc. And I got to know what it is teaching exam classes. So being an English teacher is different. Being an IELTS exams teacher or generally exams teacher is different. So I got to understand the new terms also. And at the end of the session, we got a food for our thought. Our trainer dropped a food for our thought by introducing us to a wonderful teaching methodology called loop input. And this loop input is nothing but teaching about a concept by experiencing that very concept. And it has 4-step procedure: observe, demonstrate, get feedback, and reflect. And you guys would have noticed me often using this loop input because this very word fascinated me from the day one itself. So I started using on and off whenever, is there any activity associated, which I can associate this loop input concept with. So I was continuously using it. So that's the thing about the induction, that is the day before our first session. So I have mentioned it as ground zero. So then it was the time for us to start the anatomy of IELTS. So I'll slowly dissect speaking, writing, listening, and reading. So we at Cambridgeveritas, we started with the productive skills first, speaking and writing, followed by the receptive skills, listening and reading. That's how the order goes. And yeah. So IELTS speaking strategies. So the day one started with the IELTS speaking module, and we got a clear picture of what the IELTS speaking exam entails. And the test format is like 11 to 14 minutes in total. And it's a face-to-face interview with the examiner after checking her credentials on the documents like passport for the verification. Then the speaking test starts. And when you ask me about what it is, the speaking test, and what it is all about speaking test, and it's divided into 3 parts. Introduction is for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so it's more about a general topic about questions about familiar topics like hobbies, your likes and dislikes, etc. It would be very casual. And the part 2 is for 3 to 4 minutes, where you'll be given a cue card or a booklet with a topic. And for example, describe a good friend of yours and give some suggestions for his career advancement, something like that, which you can relate with. And you need to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes, and you'll be given a 1 minute time to write notes before you begin your speaking part. And the third part is the discussion based on part 2, which lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. And I also got to understand how to assess or how to gauge or measure the speaking skills. And I also understood, see, we are not supposed to mark based on the grammar. We are not supposed to evaluate based on the grammar, because examiners don't hear good English. That's what I understood. Rather, they just follow the assessment criteria, which is based on GTFP. So it expands this way, which means grammatical range and accuracy, vocabulary, which includes lexical resource, fluency, coherence and cohesion, and pronunciation. And the most useful activity that I enjoyed was identifying students' problems and weaknesses, followed by the corrective measures. And top takeaway tips for developing speaking skills. That was also a part of the activity for that particular session. So that's how it was. So here is a snapshot I just saved based on our trainers advice for our future reference. So I have attached the same here. So I have just named it as examiner scorecard or speaking code, cracking the IELTS speaking code. So here you have the assessment criteria for the speaking test. So it goes this way: fluency you all know. So we should avoid having unnecessary pauses or hesitation, and we should go with the flow to sound more natural and effortless, and followed by coherence. So coherence is nothing but a logical organization of ideas and linking words and phrases that will enhance our coherence part. And lexical resource, so we should have that mastery over vocabulary. And test takers are encouraged to use less common words like 3 to 5 idioms or phrases, collocations, etc., so that they can avoid repetition of certain words in their speaking. So that will show their flexibility or verbose over their speaking skills. And comes the grammatical range and accuracy. So it's a brownie point if you have used complex grammatical structures or sentence structures like conditionals, reported speech, and passives. That will straight away elevate your band scores as well. Then comes the pronunciation part. So we also discussed about the commonly mispronounced words, the phonics, the errors due to stressing the words at inappropriate places, and that also changes the meaning, like object, address. So these are the potential mistakes that students can avoid, and we can just train based on these criteria. And for the assessment criteria, the examiner will not be too much concentrating or focused on the accent that we are using. They won't consider what accent you're talking in, or you're speaking in. Whereas the clarity is the matter. Clarity is the first and foremost thing they expect. Clarity and precision over the accent. Unless and until it's clear, you need not worry about your accent. You're good to go. So that's what we understood. Followed by, we are moving on to the writing part, the next one, the next skill. So we got a clear picture of what the IELTS writing exam entails, and I understood how to distinguish between the writing task in the academic and general training IELTS exams, which includes task types, time allocations, word counts or word limit, and mark weightage, as well as the assessment criteria. And I also understood how to identify the common student weaknesses in writing, and how to categorize them using a mind map to develop targeted solutions. So our entire course is based on the goal-oriented one, right? So that's how each and every stage, the course was also designed in such a manner, and we were also driven towards achieving the goals of understanding A to Z about IELTS through our wonderful mentor Kish. So, and I also got to know about power technique for both task 1 and 2, and understood how to apply this power writing process to effectively plan and organize our essays. Here is the expansion of the acronym: plan, organize, write, edit, and review. So plan, organize, write, edit, and review. So both in essays, task 1 and task 2, in response to IELTS writing prompts. And I also understood how to utilize discourse markers and linking devices to improve the organization and coherence of their writing. So I have also attached an overview of what this IELTS writing is based on. So here you have, in IELTS writing, you have 2 modules: academic writing and general writing. Throughout the IELTS skills, like LSRW skills will be tested. As you all know, International English Language Testing System is based on these 4 skills. So in this, we are now, navigating through IELTS writing. So here, academic writing and general training writing. So for both, you have task 1 and task 2 to complete. And nature of task would be like, you'll be summarizing or explaining a visual information when it comes to academic writing, task 1. And before I proceed further, I forgot to mention, academic module will be preferred by those who want to pursue their higher studies, and general training would mostly be preferred by those who want to work abroad for any other immigration purposes. So coming back to our, the discussion, and this task 1, as I told you earlier, this describes some visual information like graphs or any diagrams, flow charts, tables, maps, etc. And task 2 is, you'll be responding to a point of view argument, either for or against, based on the stand which you believe in. And the recommended time for task 1 and task 2 for both the modules, academic and general, it would be task 1 is for 20 minutes, the recommended time. It's not a mandatory thing. If it is advised to, split it this way so that we can manage time. So time management can be improved in an efficient manner. So 20 minutes for task 1 and 40 minutes for task 2. The same follows for the general training module as well. And the word count is also for task 1, it's 150 words, at least 150 words. More or less 10 or 12 words is acceptable, but it shouldn't have a huge difference when it comes to word limit and the instructions being given. And for task 2, it's at least 250 words. And for the assessment criteria when it comes to weightage, mark weightage. So task 2 is given more weightage, that is 75% of the marks will be given for task 2 and 25% of marks will be given for task 1. And register, we should also look for the register, the tonality or the formality, the level of formality. For academic writing, both task 1 and task 2, we should maintain a formal academic register. And for general training, we can switch between semi-formal to formal according to the question. We can just adjust the two, but we shouldn't go below the belt. So that's the important criteria. Then followed by, I have also attached the assessment criteria for the IELTS writing as I attached for the IELTS speaking. So here comes the assessment criteria for general training academic task 1 and general training or academic training task 2 for both. So we have task achievement, which covers all the parts of the question. Task achievement is nothing but summarizing the information by selecting and reporting the main features of it. We won't, develop all the points. We won't develop or we won't write all the points that are available, all the points that comes to our mind. We have to focus on the question, the prompt, followed by, we have to summarize the information by selecting and reporting only the main features. We need not write each and everything that comes to our mind. And coherence and cohesion, it's more like, organizing your paragraph writing, organizing your informations and ideas in a more systematic way, so that we will have a continuity, followed by, the language flow will also be more impressive. And lexical resource, definitely, as the name suggests, we should use a sufficient range of vocabulary where that allows you to have the flexibility and precision and command over your language that shows, you will be allowed to use, you will be encouraged to use 3 to 5 idioms, phrasal verbs, synonyms and antonyms. Many teachers would say, okay, you're not supposed to use, $500 words or something like that. It's okay to use less common lexical items. That shows your, uniqueness and individuality. That shows your, English language skills. Unless and until it is within the context. And we have grammatical range and accuracy, where we concentrate on, using simple and complex sentence structures like passives, conditionals, reported speech, wherever necessary. And the punctuation and spelling will also come under grammatical range and accuracy. When it comes to task response, it's the same like task achievement, but we have to cover all parts of the question. We have to justify all parts of the question. But the thing is, we'll be presenting a clear position. We'll be having one stand. We'll be focusing on our opinion. So it's more subjective. Whereas in task 1, it's objective. We cannot add or mix our opinions. So through our response, we'll just, take one stand and we'll just justify it till the end. We should be clear enough. We shouldn't get distracted. Starting by supporting one stand, and in between, if we go, mess it up, and if we just, move towards the other side, then there won't be any clarity. Then we are not, justifying or then we are not achieving that task response. So that's the thing about IELTS assessment criteria for both academic and general. And here comes the power technique, which I got to know from CVIM certification program. So I have also attached a screenshot of power technique for IELTS writing from my live class. So the power writing acronym, it expands this way. I repeat: plan, organize, write, edit, and review. So this is the way we should, focus when we train the students to, step by step. And I've also attached a snippet of, the paragraph writing, how to, it's more like a, self-explanatory template where, writing task 2 for IELTS, both academic and general training writing should be based on this. And one tip I understood and I remember is one idea equals one sentence. That's how you should, progress with your ideas when you're just, trying to incorporate your ideas into writing. So that's how it is. Please have a look at it. So shall I move to the next slide? Shall I?
Please.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, I've also attached a screenshot of writing task 1 for IELTS academic writing from my live class. And here we had an activity to match, which matches exactly with the introduction part, the main idea, supporting sentence for main idea, and how we just have a wonderful transition from the supporting sentence to the conclusion, or from one main idea to the other to the next main idea. So we got to understand all these nuances of IELTS academic writing, and how to present the main feature with numerical data and without numerical data, etc. And we got to understand it through activities by doing some visual representation of bar graph description. And we also had this activity in live session, so it was very useful for us. And coming to my IELTS listening. Now we are moving on to the IELTS listening, my takeaways. So first of all, I got a clarity, the test clarity, a clear picture of what IELTS listening exam entails and why students fail, or why students, dread when it comes to listening section, especially non-native speakers. So first of all, I learned to diagnose weaknesses like spelling, focus, and prediction errors. And then, I got to understand the sub skills. We have sub skills of listening. We have 7 sub skills of listening, which I'll be walking you through in a couple of minutes. So sub skills, I got to understand I got to understand the sub skills, and I mapped it perfectly after reading and after associating it with all the activities that we did. So it got registered into my mind. Thank you so much for the brief explanation about it. And I also identified key skills for academic plus general, like listening for details, listening for gist, attitude, tonality, the intonation and stress, as well as the signposting. Signposting is nothing but the words which we look for, furthermore, firstly, secondly. So these words will definitely change the opinion or the narrative when it comes to listening part. Yes, so we have to pay attention for the signpost words as well. And the lesson breakdown. So analyze each stage of model lesson to see how it builds real listening skills. And our trainer Kish also gave a model lesson, and we got inspired from that. And we were also asked to present a micro teaching on listening module. The next class, and I got to understand that student talk time should be more when compared to teacher talk time. It can be, student talk time can be 90% and teacher talk time can be 10%. And every time, even if it goes 95% student talk time, 5% will be for teacher talk time. That's how the bar should be. And my most enjoyed activity, I would just phrase it this way: proof through practice. So it's a proof for me. So it's my leap. I told you earlier, I'll be using this word because it got instilled into my mind. So this micro teaching on listening module proved I could do this, and got expert feedback on the same from my trainer, Mr. Kish. And I also analyzed various activities to develop some of these skills, and to stick on to time limit, to have a control over the way I just present, especially concentrate on the brevity part. So everything I took it as a constructive criticism, and I'm moving forward. And I would also like to add some interesting facts on IELTS listening before we proceed further. It's more like an overview. So the IELTS listening exam always includes 4 sections. The audio will be played once. The listening test includes different accents such as British, Australian, and North American. And there are always 40 questions in the listening exam, and you'll get 10 minutes at the end of the test to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. And the recordings include both monologues and conversations. So please remember, the recordings include both monologues and conversations. And of course, background noise is included in some listening recordings to stimulate, to stimulate the real life situations. So that's how this IELTS listening is. And here comes the listening sub skills, which we learned is one of the crucial part of the listening module. And here we have 7 sub-skills: identifying details, listening for gist, infer underlying meaning, following signposts or preferencing words, listening to stress, rhythm and intonation, prediction of content, listening for specific information. So I'm not going much into the detailings of this since it's self-explanatory. So I'll just move forward. And yeah, here comes the 8-step listening method I now use, or from now on, I'll be using it in my real class, whether it's going to be online or face-to-face. So this is going to be my stages of lesson planning when it comes to listening module. So first, set the scene. It means we have to introduce the topic so students know what's coming next. So we have to then activate our prior knowledge or ideas, so that students will be able to predict the content and brainstorm the vocabulary together, either with their peers or with the teacher. And we have to unlock keywords. And this 3rd stage is mandatory, pre-teach vocabulary. So in short form, we call it as PTV. And it's essential to have this pre-teach vocabulary, because that blocks and pre-teach vocabulary will break all the blocks that the students have in their mind when it comes to understanding any concept or any plot that was given as a part of the question. And listening for the big picture, the next stage. If you play the audio track, that is for just to get an overview, a general idea, and not to fill the answers. And second, listen for details. So that is for specific information. Second, play targets, specific information. Then followed by, we have answer with purpose. So students write answers based on focused listening. Then we'll be checking the answers together, either with, it's a peer-driven activity, or the entire class will, discuss it with the teacher or the mentor. So review answers as a class to build confidence. So finally, feedback that builds. Definitely, we should give constructive feedback, not just scores. And an ideal lesson plan will be, will include error correction part also. If an error correction part, or correcting the errors or the mistakes, giving constructive feedback is missing, then it's not an ideal lesson plan. Our lesson plan should not and then our lesson plan would be incomplete. That's what I meant to say. And I proceed forward. Yes, here is the model IELTS listening lesson through based on which we presented our micro teaching lesson, and that is a part of our certification fulfillment too, or the academic fulfillment too. I call it this way. And a screenshot of model IELTS listening lesson I have just given. So this is the order through which we just understood the stages of listening, and then we just executed the same, and we got wonderful feedback for the same. Yes. So these are the possible question types in a listening test, and one of my most enjoyed activity too. So here you have MCQs, forms, or tables. So you can expect questions for the listening test like this, like MCQs, forms, or tables, maps, matching, sentence completion, short answer, flow chart, etc. And this, agree or disagree is one activity that we did in the class, the live session, and that was so thought-provoking for me. And yeah, I have just attached the screenshot. And now we are moving into the IELTS reading part. So again, first I got to understand what IELTS reading really tests and how it works. And I mastered the 6 sub-skills, whereas in listening we had 7 sub-skills. Here we have 6 sub-skills, and they are skimming, scanning, predicting, inferring, deducing the meaning of unfamiliar texts, and reading for detail. So I also learned how to match specific reading subskills to the various task types found in the IELTS reading exam, such as matching headings, complete summaries, and answering MCQs. And I also understood how to spot and fix problems. And now I can identify why students struggle and use strategies that work in class. So I'll be a better facilitator when it comes to the reading proficiency. I mean, to make the students to attain that proficiency in reading skills. So I believe in myself. So that's the thing. And I have also attached the reading subskill screenshot taken as for our reference. Yeah, you have 6 subskills: deducing meaning of lexis, inferring meaning, skimming for general meaning, intensive reading, scanning for specific information, and prediction. So these are the reading subskills. And we also did this wonderful task called different types of tasks in the listening module. And this is also one of my most enjoyed activities when it comes to reading part. And here we just, matched, the task types with the skills associated with that. Match headings from a list with individual paragraphs. So both skimming and scanning are fast paced. We got to know that from our trainer. And it can be a blend of skimming, scanning, or skimming and intensive reading, scanning and intensive reading. That's how it appears, but it depends on the task type. So accordingly, it differs. So this is what we understood. And I have also attached the screenshots of IELTS reading skills taken from live session. These are all the activities I thoroughly enjoyed. As Bonus also mentioned, we were given a paragraph, a set of lengthy paragraphs, and we were asked to match according to the questionnaire being given, which paragraph focuses on which aspect. So based on the questionnaire, and it was wonderful. I was reminded of the loop input concept again. So thank you for giving such wonderful activities for us to think, relearn, and unlearn our preconceived thoughts about this. So thank you so much, and I proceed further. And yeah, I have just come to this part: becoming a successful exams teacher. So for me, to become a successful exams teacher, the very word exams teacher itself is a new term for us. See, we were just called as PGT teacher, postgraduate teacher, who takes for higher classes in schools, and or we will be called as ESL teacher. That's it. But apart from that, we got a new role called exams teacher. That I got to know only from CVIM, and I'm grateful for that. And these exam classes are normal classes. That's what I understood. I understood the difference. Exam classes not at all equal to general English class, or it's not proportional to general English class. As our trainer also mentioned, in case if someone approaches to have to take up IELTS exam, or their level is below the intermediate or upper intermediate level, never accept them into IELTS training. First, we should give them general English training or spoken English training. Then we should equip them to that level, because IELTS exam demands at least B1 or B2, that is intermediate and upper intermediate level of proficiency. We should first train them and equip them to reach that level, and then we can give IELTS training. That's what we got to know from our trainer Kish, based on his years of experience. Thank you so much for such tips here and there. So that would be really helpful for us, and have the right qualities. A successful exams teacher should have the knowledge plus empathy plus strategy. This is the proportion that a successful exams teacher should embody. Yes, knowledge, empathy. So they should also understand the needs and demands of the learners, their anxiety issues, and everything. So everything they should consider. At the same time, they should deliver a quality lesson for them, so that they will have the trust on you. So, and we should also control the pace. We should map the course in such a way to the test date, so that everything is covered. No stone is untouched, or no stone is unturned. So that's how we should make them feel like before they enter the test date, or before they reach the test venue. And we should also build skills and not just scores. My job, my perspective, or my job now shifted from giving tests to building the skills behind each question type. And we should also find the right mix of teaching versus testing. So that's the mantra I learned from our trainer Kish. So teaching is entirely different from testing. So we should have the balance between the input and the practice. So students learn strategies. They are not here to just take mocks, back-to-back mock test and everything. They can do it at home. You have ample sources outside these days. They no need. They were not in need of any sort of mentor like us. If they are sorting the help of a mentor, they we should make the difference. So that's how our planning should be, and the balance is key. So too much of testing will kill the confidence of the students. So too much teaching also again means there is no field practice for them. So first we should teach and then we should test. That's what I learned. No matter the deadline, the duration, and everything. Then I have also attached the screenshot from the live session and activity which I enjoyed. So qualities of successful exams teacher. So these are the qualities that a successful exam teacher should possess. Then how my certification, Cambridgeveritas IELTS Masterclass, changed my approach to IELTS course planning and design that actually works. First, we should know the variables. So we should plan our courses based on student level, class size, age, time availability, and test date. And one size doesn't fit everyone. So we should adapt our plan and we should customize. We should do the necessary changes to incorporate the needs and demands of the students' approaches to. So we should adapt our plan to who's in the room and why they are there. We should know. We should understand that first. We should get the profile. We should get the thorough understanding about the student's profile. Then only we should design, and we should audit our tools. We should, I have also learned what published exam books offer and when to use them. And I also learned to pick materials that match students' needs. See, hard work is different, and nowadays we should have both hard work and smart work. Hard work alone will not give you anything. Definitely, I'm not denying the fact hard work pays, but still nowadays, in the 21st century, learning skills also says hard work plus smart work is the success mantra. So not just what's on the shelf. We cannot just pick some random books from the shelf for the resource that we have just because it's for IELTS. We cannot give it randomly to the students. We cannot distribute the handouts. We have to tailor-made it, and we have to do it according to the level of the students. And we should create, we should generate our own tasks when textbooks fail or when we face any such technical glitches or any difficulties or adverse situations. So at the end of the day, my students and I can build better tasks for our contents. That's how my plan should move, even if I face any difficulties or challenges. And my only goal is every lesson should move students closer to their back score. Yes, so that's my goal. So I'm working towards that. I will work towards that even in the future, no matter what. And what I now consider before planning any exam class. So first, these are the points that I will definitely consider before I plan or design a course plan for my learners. So adult learners are usually more motivated than younger learners because they chose to take the exam themselves. They know, at least they have the societal exposure to. So students preparing for an exam in an English speaking country can also benefit from language specific materials. So these are the statements that I would internalize inside my mind and heart, so that while considering how to plan for any exam classes, these things will pop up. So cultural factors may influence students' comfort with certain exam tasks. Courses with more preparation time can start with a greater focus on general English before moving to exam-specific work. And finally, context is king. So we don't plan an exam course in a vacuum, right? So context matters, relevant topics, whether the purpose is getting solved or not. So that matters. So that's what I prioritize. And my most enjoyed activities and assignments, definitely case studies to analyze, both in the classroom as well as the assignments which were assigned to us. And all the case studies, help me to analyze, reflect, to measure or to self-analyze how far I can do justice to this, based on the learnings I just had for the past few days. So these were the case studies that we discussed, and these are some live session activities and categorizing course materials, discussion, question, factors affecting exam course plan. So everything we just had. And now here comes online versus face-to-face IELTS teaching. So I understood how online and face-to-face classrooms change teaching dynamics. And I also learned to plan in a more smarter manner. I also learned to adapt lesson plans for the platform I'm using. So since I got to know about my role from our trainer Kish, so it's a very comfortable way of demonstrating or taking the lessons by using the AI tools or something like that. Yes, and I've also identified which activities work best online versus in person, and why through a pair activity. That was the one and only pair activity that we did. That I did with Bonosa, and we had a good time. And I also understood how to solve the gaps by recognizing the challenges and opportunities which are unique to each classroom type. The same thing, one thing will not fit for everyone, right? One plan. So the same thing applies here. And I've also understood to redesign the course or the plan, the design with purpose. So every platform has pros and cons. So online gives chat tools plus recordings. Face-to-face gives that instant energy, the body language, gestures, everything I just learned. And again, my leap is I can now take any face-to-face IELTS lesson and rebuild it for online also without losing the skill focus. So I'm turning more flexible to meet the needs and demands of the situation as well as the students' requirements. So that is first and foremost quality successful exams teacher should have. So that immediately gives an affinity towards the teacher, I believe in. Then my most enjoyed activities, again, the opportunities and challenges of different classrooms, different activities. See, collaborative writing, learners write short written responses. All these things are, very thought provoking for me, and it instilled the concepts even more deeper. The activities which we did, on the go, helped us to internalize the concepts that we learned. So that's a powerful thing. The way our trainer had designed the course, it's really wonderful and amazing. And yeah, mastering IELTS feedback strategy. So definitely I learned when to correct immediate for accuracy tasks and delayed for fluency work, and never ignore errors. So that's what I understood. That strategic intervention is very much needed, being an IELTS trainer or the IELTS instructor. So the right technique at the right moment is also important or significant. So we should use reformulation to model accuracy, delayed correction to protect fluency, and peer feedback to build confidence. This is what I learned. So I repeat, I just understood how to use reformulation to model accuracy, how to use delayed correction to protect fluency, and peer feedback to build confidence. And I also got to know about hot versus cold error correction, like apply immediate hot correction for accuracy drills. But we should use cold delayed correction after fluency activities. Even in the IELTS real-time speaking test, we'll be given feedback only at the end. So that means a delayed cold error correction technique was followed, and that is followed. And praise is non-negotiable. I totally agree with this. So we should give immediate praise during tasks and follow up praise after. So that always build the confidence and rapport first. So definitely I believe in this. So I will also implement the same. It's not mere words. And my most enjoyed activities, I have categorized or I have sectioned it as part 1, part 2, part 3, because we had a number of activities, every day with, in a very good pace. So correct ways of giving feedback. Based on that, we had this activity, when to intervene, accuracy, fluency. So we got to know a good lesson, is a mix of both accuracy-based activities, ABA, and fluency-based activities, FBA. And the types of error we just identified based on a table, which is a small activity. I thoroughly enjoyed the same. And I also enjoyed nomination strategies right from the beginning, and the additional learning tasks, quizzes, activities on the dashboard too. Yes. And here are some case studies and the activities that we did. The fag end of the session, that is ninth lesson or the 9th day. So correct ways of giving feedback, we got to know. And yeah, so and my other most enjoyed activities include classroom management related part, where we were shown with a wonderful quote, or the thoughts are penned by Jim Scribner. and he's also an linguist and ESL expert, ELT, expert. And we just, contemplated. We just, had a discussion about how to, what do teachers of any subject do to organize and control what is happening in the classroom. These things, these are very much needed to have a pragmatic approach when it comes to real classroom scenarios, whether it's offline or online. So we have to take the insights from these sort of activities, and we have to implement it. And I also understood how to use the whiteboard. I mean the board usage, how it should be. And one tip is never use cursive writing. So how to present in a more organized way, what to write, what not to write. It shouldn't be clumsy. It should be in a more sequential manner. So even from the far end of the classroom, a student views the board. It should be neat and tidy. Neat and tidy in the sense it shouldn't be empty. I'm not talking that way. It should have the relevant points written, and it should be in a more first of all we should divide the board, whether it's a chalkboard or a smart board. We should divide it into 2 or 3 columns based on the content which we are going to deliver that particular day, for which we would have planned earlier. So accordingly, we should write so that the readability, so it should be, your handwriting should be legible, it should be readable. Even from the fag end of the classroom, it should be visible. So these are some practical aspects which we need to consider from the student's side. Yes, because in one night, we cannot, all of a sudden, we cannot change our handwriting, but at least we can make it readable. So in that way, we can just, make it more presentable. So these are the things we just discussed. And yeah, what I learned from the PDFs, definitely the reflection of what we discussed in live sessions, and that helped me to revise on the concepts discussed. And again, concept of loop input, power writing techniques, case study based activities, to name a few, and PSL classroom speaking activities. And that's a huge list. That's a wonderful list. And even if you have few other resources related to the activities which we can implement or incorporate in all the incorporate across all the 4 modules of the IELTS, it would be immensely helpful for us, Kish. Please consider sharing some resources on these things as well, and many more. And classroom management techniques. When it comes to classroom management techniques, I got to know some cool jargons mentioned in the live classes, and the testimonials too, which was sent by Aisha ma'am for us to get motivated. Stirrers versus settlers. And ideal, those are very much energetic, and those who are just calm and composed, while handling the classes, while handling a different set of students. And ideal lesson plan is incomplete without error correction. So that I learned both from PDF as well as from the live sessions. Good lesson is a blend of both ABA and FBA. That also I learned. And my lead again is, this certification didn't just give me PDFs, it gave me an examiner's mindset. I stopped preparing lessons and started preparing candidates. That's how I view. My perspective got completely changed. Yes, and see, that's how it is. My transformation is from English teacher to IELTS strategist. That's my, lead. The certification gave me, or this program, this entire Cambridgeveritas IELTS Masterclass Train the Trainer program gave me. So now I just have a thorough command of the exam logistics. I don't just teach. Now I manage IELTS assessment formats, timing, and delivery for real exam conditions. I started thinking like an examiner. When it comes to speaking and writing, feedback is now tied to GVFP. Grammatical range, grammar, fluency, vocabulary, fluency, and pronunciation. Official band descriptors, not personal preference. That's how my approach got shifted from a generic, teacher of English language. So now I diagnose, then prescribe. Now I first diagnose and then prescribe. I use student profiles to spot weaknesses against criteria, and then apply targeted fixes so that will boost up their scores. And I deliver anywhere. I'm flexible now. Maintain exam standard training quality, both virtual and face-to-face classrooms. Definitely, if I meticulously plan and religiously follow all these things that I've mentioned so far as a part of the presentation, definitely the expected learning outcome will be fulfilled. So as a result, my students don't just improve their English, they also learn to beat the test without any hassle. Yeah. And my future plans or my post certification roadmap, from learning to leadership, I phrase it this way. So to have some sort of self-motivation. And I have to consolidate my CVIM mastery by completing the dashboard activities, which we got a privilege of having access for the next 1 year from now on, and quizzes to reflect on, apply, and own every IELTS strategy that I've learned. I have to put it into practice. Bookish knowledge, mere bookish knowledge will not help us. It will fade away from our mind. It should enter into a long-term memory. Then we should, work on it. And I should also, as I mentioned earlier, I told I have enrolled myself into voice and accent training. So I'll be torturing you from June 13th onwards, Kish. Please do bear with my lengthy explanations. I'm working on it. I'm trying to improve that because I'm a people person. I always talk a lot. So that's my manufacturing defect. So definitely that's not going to be an excuse when it comes to professional grounds. I'll definitely work on it. And definitely, I'm going to concentrate more on the IELTS as well as I'm planning to complete the certification called as Cambridgeveritas Voice and Accent Training Program also successfully, so that I can broaden my employment opportunities and deepen my knowledge and expertise beyond being an IELTS trainer. So it's a combination now. Being an IELTS trainer as well as voice and accent. As I told you, I'm also giving voice culture training when it comes to music. So this would be an added credential to boost up my portfolio, as well as knowledge-wise, I'll be gaining more inputs. So I will step into the classroom again as a dedicated IELTS trainer using CVIM methods to deliver real band score results. And my long-term goal would be to earn global recognition, get SELTA certified, to pursue SELTA certification. And for that, I would definitely need your guidance. Kish, please do help me with that. No matter what, whether you're busy or not, I'll just wait for your reply whenever I get any doubts, or whenever I want to get some things clarified related to my career. So I'll definitely contact you. And yeah, I'll pursue my SELTA certification to combine IELTS specialization with world-class ELT credentials. And yeah, definitely, before I end my presentation, before I conclude, I would like to show my sincere gratitude towards the people who shaped this journey. Definitely. So I cannot forget this. This is my CVIM community. See, a course gives you content. Only a community gives you courage. I believe in that. And when it comes to that, the first thing is my trainer. I thank you so much, Kish, for your unwavering support and guidance, and your detailed feedback on my micro teaching session didn't just correct me. So it recalibrated me actually. You showed me how to see errors as opportunities to learn and come out as a better version than my previous one. So that changed everything. So thank you so much for giving me an examiner's lens and a trainer's confidence. And definitely, how can I forget my co-participant, Bonosa? Thank you so much, because I feel learning is better when it's shared, So thank you for all your insights, your feedback, and for making every task feels like, a wonderful experience. So I learned as much from you as I did from the modules. So for the peer learning that made, grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and pronunciation click, I'll just show my sincere gratitude towards you as well. And definitely, I cannot forget my student counselor. I would like to thank my student counselor, Ms. Aisha, or Aisha ma'am, whatever way we address her. So thank you so much for being the bridge between the doubt and direction. Your check-ins, your clarity, and constant encouragement kept me grounded throughout the 10 sessions or throughout this journey. And thank you so much for the guidance that turned my enrollment into achievement where I am right now. And last but not the least, the institution. I'm forever grateful for Cambridgeveritas platform for designing a course that respects teachers as professionals and learners at the same time. Thank you so much.